Welcome to episode 2 of the Primetime 585 podcast. I'm Karen Iglesia, and the man over there is lucky to be married to me. Go ahead, introduce yourself, lucky man.
Gerard Iglesia, the luckiest man in America.
So, Gerard, we're going to kick off this podcast with some swimming action. We went to the Fairport Tri-Meet, which consists of Fairport, Mercy, and also RCSD United. RCSD United is a combination of RCSD and Aquinas.
Right.
So let's talk about that first, off the cuff. Go talk about that 200. Whew.
Yeah, the 200. That was won by Fairport. Okay, and
With 150, 153.
yes, 150, 153, and it was swam by Larzaire, Russo, Auber, and Kylie Lawrence.
Now, I got to talk about how they, off the rip, the first one, they made a state cut. 150, 153 is a state cut for this team.
Yeah, they automatically go to the States.
Yeah. So when you have Kaylee Lawrence on that, and we're going to go right into her. When you have Kaylee Lawrence on your team, right, guess what? She was the Primetime 585 News 8 Swimmer of the Year last year, right? The girl is talented. There's only 2 seniors on this Fairport team. She also won the 50. She also won the 100. The 100, she swam that in 55:24. And her teammate, Aurora, swam it in 57:66, right? So talk about this RCSD, the combination. You are at Soda, right? Because a lot of those girls are Soda girls.
Yeah.
They don't have a pool there.
No, I don't even know where they find the pool. But, and they have to work with Aquinas too. They figure things out, and they really impressed in that, especially the anchor.
Yeah, listen, when I tell you this RCSD team, Terrellyn Robinson, we've known her and her mom for years. She's young too. This is a young team, right? So we're gonna go right into that RCSD 200 free relay with Robinson, Sierra, Malloy, and Clark. Now she got off the blocks a little bit late. Terrellyn did, right?
Right.
Sierra made up some time, right? Malloy gave them a little bit of an edge, but talk about Clark. Ooh, she hawked.
Yeah, because wasn't she behind 3 seconds?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was behind by 3 seconds, and she was gone. She wound up winning by 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So she did a tremendous job giving RCSD United the win.
All you got to do is just give her a little bit. So Grace Clark got that for them. They end up winning that 200 free relay. Now, Drew, we're going to go right into some boys soccer action down. So it's hard to highlight all the soccer teams, but we picked a couple teams to highlight. We're going to start with Churchville Chili. They remain a dominant team right now, right? Churchville Chili is 4-0 on the season, right? They've beaten Rush, they've beaten Lockport, Webster Thomas, and last night they beat Gates. Yeah. Okay, but I want to talk about goalie Mason Simmons. Now, he has the school record for saves is 22, right? He's already had for shutouts. He's already surpassed that early on in this year already. So, and he had 5 shutouts, 4 shutouts this season. No one scored on them. Yeah. So, talk about some notable players for Churchville Chili.
For Churchville Chili, actually, I just want to say that this Churchville Chili has been a good team for the last few years. I know they made the finals the last 2 years, winning one of them.
But they got Lucas Carriola, right? He's a junior, right? They got Bryce Wolf. He's also he's a junior, and they got Klawicki, Elijah Klawicki.
Shout out to Dad for giving us a lot of these good videos.
Look at you being a dad. yes. Jason Klawicki is one of our good friends, and he sends in detail all these videos. He sends in detailed videos for us. He does a really, really good job. But they're undefeated, Gerard. However, they take on Spencerport next week.
That's who've been playing at least the last 2 years in sectional finals.
They're rivals.
Always go at it.
Oh, but they play. Well, let's not surpass Irondequoit. They play Irondequoit tomorrow. So I don't like to surpass teams and look past teams. Irondequoit gritty, right? So they play Irondequoit tomorrow, but they also play Spencerport. Is going to be a big test for them. Now let's go into some Fairport. So Fairport, also another undefeated team. Fairport is 5-0 on this season, right? Now, they opened up with a 1-0 win over Schrader, then a 4-0 win over Irondequoit, then a 3-0 win over Hilton. Then they traveled to Spencerport and beat them on a clean slate on a 2-0 win. And last night, they also got the win, another shutout win. Guess what, Gerard? No one has scored on them.
Yeah. And, I shouldn't say it's not surprising, but remember, these guys they won sectionals last year. And Fairport's always good.
They're powerhouse.
Yeah, powerhouse.
So I want to talk about their goalies because, when you guys shut out after shutout after shutout, you got to give them their props. Evan, I think the name is Forciniti and Jared Mully. They kind of share the goalie position.
And you don't see that very often.
They share it though, and they got that shutout. But I want to shout out Justin Barton, Trevor Scopa, Drew Skoll, and Tim Donner. Those guys are lethal. So Fairport gonna make some more noise again in that class. They're gonna make some more noise in that class. So, but just a couple other notable teams that I always want to kind of shout out that sometimes they might not make our podcast, but Athena versus Arcadia went down last night. We covered that game. I want to shout out that game. Arcadia ended up getting the win after being down, but I got to shout out y'all student section was lit. That was the sixth man, but in soccer it's different. That student section rallied that team back, but I had to shout out because when you have the battle for Arcadia versus Athena, so I just want to shout them out in this soccer segment because that was a really good. They won the battle for Greece last night.
Yeah, they were down 1-0, hung in there, and then I think they scored 3 straight goals.
Yep.
Wound up winning 3-1.
So let's go to some football. Woo! Let's talk some football. Lot of footballs went down in Section 5. Let's start with the Teddy Bowl. The Teddy Bowl, Victor versus Pittsford kicked off last Thursday. And Pittsford got the 27-17 win. It's the 7th annual Teddy Bowl. All the money goes to Camp Good Days and Special Times. I like that. I really like that a lot.
Yeah, Pittsford looked like they were, Victor looked like they was in control early on. But
when you have Jablonski, on Jesse Jablonski on your team, 140 receiving yards, he had 2 touchdowns, and then you have Deshaun Preston on your team. He is a stud, a straight up athlete, young guy, and he also threw for a touchdown.
Yeah, off a flea flicker.
Yeah, he did a flea flicker.
And he had an interception also.
Yeah. And then they have Ryan Munzinger also had an interception. Jax Burness was crazy on. He had 7 tackles. He had one of those. He had also had a sack. Victor, they were leading, but I just think that Pittsburgh was a little bit more deeper for them. Yeah. And Victor is in the rebuilding stage right now of their football program. They lost some over the last couple of years, but look, don't sleep on Victor, right? Because they have a very good coaching staff over there.
Yeah, and their running back Matthew Langan. Yeah, he was killing them. Yeah, he did a real good job.
Yeah, so they got the 27-17 win. Pittsburgh did to open up the winning season for this year, and they needed that. Both teams needed a win. They both have been struggling over the last couple of years. Let's go over to this Eastridge game.
Before we start with Eastridge, I gotta say this. I was joking with you. I said, I'm not going to another game until week 4, until they figure out how to stop getting penalties. I'm going to chalk it up as the first game. But, the games that we saw, there must have been probably 40, 50 penalties.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's a lot. But again, it's the first game. They're only going to get better. There was more flags than the United Nations.
And the United Nations got a lot of flags. Yeah. That game, the fourth quarter took forever in some of these games. Let's go to this Eastridge game. So Eastridge was a Class B sectional champs, right? They moved to Class A this year. They knocked off East 7-6. East is a powerhouse. East has gone to the sectional finals since 2019 every year and won sectionals a couple years ago. Yeah. So this is a powerhouse East team, an East program, a well-coached program.
They lost a lot of players from last year.
Yeah, it's hard to make up some of it. Yeah. But East is
they're
still
young.
East.
They're young, and they're going to only get better and better and better.
Let's give props to Coach Vic, right? Because 2 years ago, East didn't win a game. Yeah. Came in last year, won a sectional title. Yeah. And then this year, they just knocked off East.
And I think they didn't start well last year.
No,
they got on a roll at
Yep.
the end of the season.
Yeah. So the score was kind of low, but the defense of Eastridge was key, right?
Yeah.
They were key because a lot of times they were threatening.
Yeah, in the last 7-8 minutes of the game, East got deep into their territory in the red zone, and they came up with nothing. Once they got to the 1 yard line, but they got called for a penalty, I believe, for pushing the guy in.
There's a
the
lot
quarterback.
listen.
Yeah.
There's a lot of penalties in this game. Some of which, I'm never going to go after refs. I don't believe in going after refs. Some of them were like, man, that could go. It's football, right? They're supposed to hit each other.
Yeah.
They're supposed to celebrate.
There was like 10 unsportsmanlike penalties in that game.
In that game. We were like, another one, another one, another one. And honestly, okay, so in my opinion, of that 10, I would say 7 of them, this kid's having kids. It's just kids being kids.
They're just like yes.
Yeah.
You know, after,
maybe this year they said we don't want any celebration at all. We don't know what the standards are.
Right.
Because one kid just says, yes, that's all he did. Unsportsmanlike, 15 yards. I was like, oh.
It could have been interpreted as being in the other player's face.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a game of emotion.
Yeah, football is. It's intense on them sidelines, man. It's intense in them sidelines. Okay, so, but that game, I just want to shout out Coach Vic, because Coach Vic is doing a great job over there. Also, I want to remind you that Jamel D'Souza had 7 tackles, 1 for a loss, and Troy Calkins had 5 tackles and also an interception. So we got to go into let's go into we got to go into it. We got all kind of stuff going on. We got to now go into this Canandaigua Athena game. Canandaigua, as you know, is a powerhouse program in Section 5. They call themselves, we play Canandaigua football. Now, what do you think Canandaigua football is, Gerard? I don't even know what's Canandaigua football.
I mean, it's just a system. It's very structured, very disciplined. It's like year after, no, I'm not going to say year after year, decade after decade of excellence. They lost a lot of key players, but they don't rebuild, they reload.
So one of the quotes they said is, we play Canandaigua football. So I was like, well, what is that?
Well, it's power football. Power football. They run the ball. They throw it pretty well usually. It's a very proud program, right? They take a lot of pride, like all football players do. Yeah, Canandaigua football is do your job. Everybody do your job.
Do your piece.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what they do.
So Peyton Holtby, the senior running back, rushed for 4 touchdowns and threw for another 3 of those touchdowns within 3 to 4 minutes in the third.
Wow.
It was, so we gotta shout out Jack Scott, and he went and covered this game for us. And I gotta give him credit because he's a student at Athena, right? And he's on our youth council. And for you to be on our youth council and to be on the opposite team and still do such fantastic coverage, I gotta give him credit. But he was unstoppable. Peyton Holtby was 3 touchdowns within 3-4 minutes in the third. Jack Clark is their quarterback this year. So, Canandaigua lost a lot last year, right? People think, how do you replace that? Yeah. Well, guess what? They replaced.
Yeah, like I said, they got a system. Everybody does their job.
So Canandaigua is a program of grit, right? But Arcadia did not let up. I want to talk about Arcadia for a quick hot minute. Just because they scored, it was 50-10, doesn't mean that it got away from them. But I got to talk about Ambo. Is it London Ambo? That's how you say his name? Yep. So he's he's a kicker. And he's also on the soccer team right now playing.
Okay.
So, and he's got a leg. Yeah. He's the one that scored yesterday when we were there. Yeah. So he's on both teams. He's the kicker for football. So if there's a football game and a soccer game on the same day, what does he do? What do they do when they do that? I'm always curious because there's a lot of teams that sometimes we use the soccer players to play for the kicker. But do the schedulers say we're not going to schedule the football game the same time as they do I'm just curious.
I don't know how that works out there.
Because he kicked a 35-yard field goal late in the second quarter and brought it back within 15 to 7. So they need him, right? Arcadia needs him. They need him on the team. They do need him on the team. It's hard. Kickers are hard to find in Section 5.
Yeah, but I would think soccer might be his main sport. I mean,
soccer is his main sport.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing, all 80 minutes.
Yeah,
whereas in football, you go out there and it's an important position, kicker, real important, but I don't know. I would guess soccer.
Well, I mean, I know that's a sport because obviously that's what he's dominant at. But I'm always just curious as to when they play double sports like this, how do they like pick and choose? Maybe the AD schedule. We kind of know the AD. He manages schedule. Mook probably just schedule and say, oh no, we can't. No, Mook is not at Athena. Mook is at Arcadia.
Yeah.
But the Grey Wolves pulled it out. They pulled it out 50-10. I'm interested to see how they gonna fare the rest of the year because that's a dominant performance.
Yeah, and it's good when your first game.
Yeah.
Because usually first game there's a lot of mistakes made and everything, and they had the wiggle room to get by with those mistakes. Against,
It's a powerful, So let's go into Gates versus Arcadia. Now, this game was covered by Coach Richard for us. So the final for this game was 42-13, right? Jackson Childs passed for 230 yards and a touchdown for Arcadia. So Drake's, Sapp is a talented athlete overall.
Great basketball player too.
Yeah.
He's only a junior.
Caught 7 passes for 100 yards and also had a touchdown. But that was just Gates was just too much. And you know who was too much for them? Caleb Giddens Bond. He was just too much for them. 14 carries for 159 yards. He had 3 rushing touchdowns. And they were dominant. I want to talk about Coach Fontenette for a minute. So Coach Fontenette is coming from McQuaid, right? So in all transparency, let me say the PSA. I was his SAT teacher. Yeah. I'm not that old though. I'm not that old.
You're old.
But I was his SAT teacher, and he was a talented football player in high school. So he was at McQuaid, I think for like 7 years maybe. He was at McQuaid for a while as an assistant coach. He's coming from a winning program.
Yeah, well, let me back up just a second. You're saying he's a talented player. He was AGR. He played at Syracuse.
Yep. Proud of him.
Yeah.
Proud of him. Played at Syracuse, came out, went into and was at McQuaid, right, where you're learning under Coach Bates for all those years, and then you're taking that. He's only in his second year over at Gates, but he brought a different culture over to Gates, a different set of discipline over there. So I just wanted to, and he was the coach of the
coach
Bills,
of the week,
for the Bills program. So I wanted to shout him out for that. But they have Caleb Giddens Bond, who's a talent, and when you have somebody like that, then you could do a lot of damage.
Right.
In Section 5 football with that. So Gates, they got the win. However, they face Irondequoit this weekend. Now, I haven't seen Irondequoit yet.
Right.
I do know they're well coached. And I do know Irondequoit football is a different kind of football. They are gritty. They have a lot of lacrosse players.
Tough guys.
Yeah. So that's when you're going to see them get tested against an Irondequoit squad this weekend. But Jordan, I want to talk about some Week 2 matchups, right? Let's talk about some Week 2 matchups.
Yeah,
we got some time. Let's talk about the first one. UPrep Pittsford.
Yeah. UPrep is athletic. They lost to a national powerhouse in Week 1.
Yeah.
But that's only going to... St. Anthony's in Long Island.
Probably 8 Division I players. Yeah. I mean, it was 35-20. It was a respectable score.
Yeah.
It was a respectable score. However,
iron sharpens iron.
That's exactly what I was going to say. They went down, and I respect Coach Young because he said, we'll take our losses, getting sharper for the later part of the season. We'll take our losses. And so look for the UPrep versus Pittsburgh game to be a good matchup. I think, Pittsburgh got some weapons too, but UPrep's lying.
Yeah, I mean, you got Gavin White, who got several D1 offers, Syracuse being one of them.
And he's a 3-sport athlete.
Yeah, 3-sport athlete. He's really good at all of them. Like, exceptionally. He could get a scholarship a D1 scholarship in all 3 sports.
What's funny is he never did the high jump.
Yeah.
And he just got up one day. The coach said, "Well, you should just do it," and he did it, and then became one of the best in the state.
No, country.
In the country.
6'9", I believe it was.
After like a couple of times, he doesn't even know the technique yet.
Yeah.
But end up doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. And Javion Sampson, they have a lot, tough guy.
They have a lot of weapons. And then, as I said, Gates around the court is a good matchup. East versus Brockport. That's an A2 matchup. Mark my word, that's going to be a good game.
Yeah.
That's going to be a good game. That's coming up this weekend. But let's talk about this Aquinas Fairport game.
Yeah.
That's at 6:00 Friday night. Look for Aquinas to be a buzz on Friday night at 6:00. Friday Night Lights. Aquinas versus Fairport. So last year they went at it, right? Fairport is a very confident team. They got a chip on their shoulder. They only lost one game in the regular season last year. And they coming for everybody's neck.
Yeah, they've built up that program over the last couple of years. And, they're a team that people don't really want to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to play them either.
Yeah. But Aquinas won't mind because they're not afraid of anybody.
No.
And last week they had a big win behind
well, they're the 42-13 win against St. Michael's.
Right. In Toronto.
So they have a big win last week. And also McQuaid versus Rush Henrietta. Look for that double-A matchup. Look for that to be a very interesting. That's at 7:00 on Friday night.
Right.
Look for that to be a very, very
that should be good.
That's going to be the game of games.
Yeah, Xavier Cox from McQuaid transferred over to Rush Henrietta.
So we are McQuaid parents, right? Our kid went to McQuaid, right? So you know we already know the chant. We already know the chant that's going to come from the student section, the symbol section, Fallen Night. Fallen Night. So when you transfer out of McQuaid, y'all, they got a chant ready for you. So Xavier Cox is just, he knows. Yeah, everybody knows.
He was probably yelling it the last few years to somebody.
Yeah. So. And then Monroe Eastridge at noon on Saturday.
Yeah.
Look for that to be also a very good game.
Yeah.
That's going to be a good game. Monroe is just too powerful right now for everybody. I think they're...
Almost everybody.
Almost everybody.
Well, in their class.
Yeah, I'm talking about in their class. There's only a few teams in their class.
Yeah.
They're playing outside of their class with Eastridge. Eastridge is coming off of a win, beating a city team. Also, they got a Messiah Hampton in Monroe. They got Terrell Cunningham Jr. Yeah, so...
I would also say about Eastridge is that when you're a champion, like they were last year, that carries over into the next year. I mean, they've got confidence. They know how to win.
You got a different swagger.
So, yeah, definitely a different swagger. So, that one could be interesting. At Monroe and...
Yeah, so look for that to be a good matchup. So Section 5 football, guys, it's on. When I tell you that Friday nights, and I want to say we cover all sports, but on Friday nights, y'all, we got to give football that love.
Yeah.
There's only a couple of days that we could cover football. So for the people that are always inboxing me, we got to give them that love. So, Jordan, we got to go on to some picks. So we're going to start with your pick. So for people that don't know, the Gerard's pick and the Karen's pick, we picked one player that did something outstanding during, for the season, right? And we ended up, so that's how we're going to end our show. So we're going to go into your pick.
My pick is from Finney Girls Volleyball.
Ooh,
and that would be
Finney.
Yeah, the hitter, Faith Pasquantonio.
Yeah, she is the truth, y'all. She is. Don't let little Finney fool you. They gave Harley Allendale Columbia a run for their money.
Well, they beat them 3-2.
Yep. And
little tiny Finney, just deep, and they went 5 sets with Mercy last night, who's very good.
Yep.
And is in AAA.
Yeah.
And Finney
They went 5. They went all the way to 5, and all the way even in the 5th set, I think they lost by a couple points.
Yeah. And Finney's only got like 100 kids in his school.
Yeah.
So grades 9 through 11.
So they're a scrappy team, and they got some young girls on that team that you see there. So then we're gonna go to Karen's pick. So my pick is Tegan Shores of Penfield Cross Country. I gotta give cross country some love, y'all. It's hard to cover cross country. So Tegan Shores is my pick. She set the new course record at Shadow Pines. 21:22. That was the new course record for Shadow Pines. So I want to. Well, it's hard to cover. It is so hard to cover cross country. They're in the woods somewhere, right?
Yeah,
I don't do woods. I don't do woods. They're in the woods somewhere, and then you only really see them at the end. So I wanted to shout them out. They don't get a lot of love, but it's a lot. They put a lot of work in. They put a lot of time in. Into their craft. Could you imagine running that much?
Running 21 minutes? No. Most people don't like to drive 20 minutes.
Right. So congratulations to Tegan Shores of Penfield Cross Country and Coach Sheffield, her coach, and congratulations to Faith Pasquantonio. I think that's how I say her. I think of that. Is that her? Isn't her mom the coach?
Yeah, her mom's the coach.
Her mom is the coach. Yes, that team also got a friend of yours, granddaughter on that team. The Coach Marchand's.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Granddaughters on that team.
Yeah,
so,
Coach.
So we wanted to do that. So
Eddie Marchand's daughter. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have about a minute left. You know what? I just want to shout out Section 5 for allowing us on y'all sidelines. Shout out my youth council, our team. Z705 does a lot of games. Jake, you guys know Jake. He does a lot of games for us. Rashard. We could not be like this without them.
And Jack Scottney.
That's your guy. Jack is only 14 doing games over here. He said he wants to take Thad's job. That's what he said. He's 14. He says, I'm taking Thad's job. Think Thad, you're safer now. He only 14, Thad. Well,
you got 10 years, Thad.
Yeah, he's coming. But in saying that, I just want to thank Jake and Z. They do a lot of work for us. And remember, you could send in any videos. You could even nominate some Karen and Gerard's picks. Let's make this interesting. Send a video and say, why should you be Gerard's or Karen's pick? And you could send it into our Primetime phone number, 585-626-7742. Gerard, good show, good podcast. You're so lucky to be married to me. I don't know what to tell you. I'll tell you. He's married
30
up, y'all.
years of pain.
He is married up. Thanks, guys.
Get the Rochester First streaming app today for everything you love from News 8 On Demand, plus exclusive shows you won't see anywhere else. Search ROC and download for free on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV.